Hey guys, it's Goldie Jr. Talk Sports here, back more talking sports. We are doing another NFC division prediction. Who do you think it is? Because you're probably right. I'm here for 1 out of 3 chances. We watched the other video and knew who I did first, which was the NFC East. My second team I did after AFC East was like AFC West. What is it? AFC? Yeah, I think it was AFC West. And this time, once again, we'll be doing the AFC West. We'll be starting with maybe not the most hyped team heading into this season, but the Arizona Cardinals, not very good. Let's look at the roster. We got Budda Baker, Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz, Isaiah Simmons, Rondale Moore, DJ Humphries, Jalen Thompson, Kyler Murray, Matt Prater, James Conner, and also the rookie, Paris Johnson Jr., pretty early pick. Guys, I just want to know if anybody new here. I'm not doing these ratings. You people might be thinking, well, you're a casual. You literally look at the man range, look at their top players. First of all, if you argue that like 1 or 2 of these players should be in the top 10 instead of like Matt Prater, James Conner, who cares? I'm just naming out their most noteworthy names. It's just a quick way to go over their roster and their top players. Because I'm not doing a whole team review. I'm just looking at their team and saying how many wins they'll get and who they'll beat. But yeah, their team, if like their only superstar, not even superstar development, I'm saying like superstar player on their team is Budda Baker, and he's not extraordinary. He's just really good at what he does. And also, when your best player is a safety, you want some other really good players, and they just don't. And then Kyler Murray's also suspended. It's just not looking good for them. Yeah, and I predict them to be 3-14. I mean, it's just nothing going for the Cardinals. They have a decent receiving room, but they just lost DeAndre Hopkins. Honestly, nobody's choosing James Conner to be their running back, no matter how unreal you say he is. Even with Paris Johnson, their offensive line isn't great. Their defense has lost J.J. Watt, not Budda Baker, the other guy, Byron Murphy, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, there's just not much to look for in this team. After winning 3 total games. And their only non-division win, they have 1 win against the Rams and 1 win against the Seahawks for me, is the Chicago Bears. None of the NFC West schedule is very easy. So there's a lot of teams where I feel like they're just going to get blown out and outplayed because of the better roster. But one team I can see them beating is the Chicago Bears. I think by this time they definitely have Kyler Murray back. So it will be an interesting game. Bears don't have the strongest secondary of all time, I would say. Jalen Johnson and A. Jackson are their highlights, and that's pretty much all I can remember. And I'm pretty sure that's all that's really notable. The Cardinals have a chance to win this game, and that's all you need in the NFL, a chance. I don't think the Cardinals will be like the first team to only win 2 games in forever. I do think they're going to win 3. But don't take that as a sign of respect, Cardinals. You're still going to be very bad this year, but let's get to the next team. Let's talk about a little bit more positively, only a little bit though, the LA Rams. One thing I do want to say, we'll get to that when we get to that. Top players, now they don't have Jalen Ramsey, but they do have Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, they have a big drop-off, Rob Havenstein, Cam Akers, Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, Demarcus Robinson, who is still in the league, I kind of forgot about him, Ernest Jones, Jordan Fuller, and the very underrated Matthew Stafford. I think he could have a decent season this year. He doesn't have the amazing, also rookie Steve Avila, but he doesn't have an amazing receiver room, but I still think he's still got it. I mean, people are just throwing him off because he got injured one time, which I guess at this age, it could really hurt a quarterback, but I just don't think it will. I have not high, but like okay hopes for Matthew Stafford. Speaking of okay, this roster is okay. But also, I got them being very okay with 6-11. I don't care. They lost Jalen Ramsey. They lost the best secondary member, and they don't really have anyone to replace him. The receiver room's good. The running back, if you're saying you'd rather have Cam Akers than like 15-hour running backs, you're probably lying. But he's good. Tight situation is spectacular. Offensive line also is okay. Defense, they just keep losing stars. First, Bobby Wagner, then what's his name, Jalen Ramsey. He's just not looking good for this team. And then with the pretty tough NFC West outside the Cardinals, they will be losing a couple games in their division too. But the first notable win is Week 4 up against the Colts. The Colts are going to be pretty bad in my opinion. They don't get as much hype as for some reason the Texans do, but they do have some people saying that they could win 7 games, which they definitely can. But I think the Rams are going to be closer to 7 wins than the Colts are, and I also think they're going to beat the Colts. I think they're going to put him in his place. Matthew Stafford's going to prove Anthony Richardson that you're not there yet, buddy. Georgia absolutely destroyed you in your 2 years against them, just like me, a former Georgia player, Georgia megastar, Georgia legend Matthew Stafford's going to put the brakes on Anthony Richardson and win this game by 45 points. But let's get to the next noble win up against the Packers. Packers are interesting, kind of overrated in my opinion, but they could be good. Jordan Love plays good. Their ceiling's at around 11 games. If he plays bad, they could win as few as 6 games, which will have the Rams winning. Speaking of 6 games, I overrated the Rams. I'm not going to lie. When I first made these predictions, I had them at 9 wins. As you can see, I adjusted that a little bit. Brought them down to 6. And I brought the Seahawks up, but you'll see that in a minute. So, of course, I have them beating the Packers. I think both these teams are around equally skilled. Honestly, like the Packers have no offense, and the Rams have a pretty decent offense, but not a great defense. I do have the Rams winning, though, because honestly, I'd rather have a really good offense and a really good defense. And I think that will get the Rams the win, as well as, once again, more QB experience. And their final noble win is up against the Browns. Now, you've heard my prediction against the Browns. I think that they're going to be pretty good this year, but it doesn't mean they're going to lose to some decently bad teams. Because, as you know, barely any teams in the NFL don't lose to a couple bad teams a year. Only like the top, upmost 13, 14 win teams don't really lose that many teams against bad opponents. You'll see, like some 12 and 11, 10 win teams, a couple of their losses will be against teams with below 500 records. And I think this will be one of those games for the Browns. They won't see it coming. They will not see Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald coming against their not amazing offensive line. I mean, it's not bad, but I'm pretty sure Aaron Donald's going to destroy anyway. And I think the Rams might have a chance against Myles Garrett to only get sacked like once and a half by him. But yeah, I do have the Rams getting their third notable non-divisional win against the Browns. But let's talk about a team with an actual winning record. The only team with a number in their name, the San Francisco. Come on. Load the 49ers. I just put in 49. It should have been enough. Whatever. Yeah, their top players, Nick Bosa and Trent Williams, barely get kicked out of the 99 club. Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, George Kittle, then a drop off from the 90s, but still 5. Deebo Samuel, Charvarius Ward, Kyle Juszczyk, Brandon Ayuk, Dre Greenlaw, and we'll mention former Falcon. No, I'm not going to mention. I said offer. Arik Armstead. He's kind of getting older, but he's still pretty good. As you see, this roster is very good. But there's something that's missing on this screen. And this screen too. And it is a quarterback. Because you don't know. Because honestly, I think Brock Purdy's a little overrated. He's not going to be crazy high level in my opinion. But I also think Trey Lance sucks. And they shouldn't have traded that much to get him. When they could have probably gotten a decent defensive player instead of trading up. But hey. Bottom line, this roster is very good, and it is going to have a winning record. But let's see his record. Yeah, you probably saw it through the screen. 11-6. You might think it's a little low for 49ers. But I say maybe. Mind their ceiling is like 13 wins. But will they hit their ceiling? No. I think their floor is like 10-9 wins, and they're going to be a little bit closer to that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. 49ers could definitely be a really good team in this league. I just don't think any NFC teams are really going to compare to the AFC teams. Take that as you will. But 49ers are, I just think, missing a quarterback, along with having some holes, don't even lie, is a little bit worrying for the 49ers. specifically secondary. That isn't a strength, but isn't a crazy weakness. And I think they will win games despite their not amazing secondary, just based off of how explosive their offense is. But can whoever their QB is control that explosive offense? We'll see. But also, you are about to see my notable wins for them. First is Week 5 versus the Cowboys. I just love talking about the Cowboys losing, but nothing biased. I think the 49ers kind of own the Cowboys' entire state and city right now. And I think they will continue to in Week 5. They beat them twice in a row in the playoffs. And now they're about to beat them in the regular season. Not much else to say. They own them. Week 7 against the Vikings. I'm not going to say... I say this every video, but yeah, people saying they're going to be very overrated. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're not going to be as good as last year. Along with Kirk Cousins is eventually going to get worse. This might just be the year when he gets a little bit less consistent. And with no Dalvin Cook on the team and then no Eric Kendricks, it's going to be a tough year. I think the 49ers are just going to dominate them defensively and leave them hoping that they don't meet them in the playoffs. Because they do, the same thing will probably happen. But the last notable win for the 49ers is a really good one against the Cincinnati Bengals, the most high-powered offense in the league, maybe. Yeah, you got three of the best, probably the best trio of receivers in the league, let's be honest. And even though this might not be enough, they also have an amazing QB, an amazing running back, and then a terrible offensive line, which Nick Bosa and the rest of this great defensive line is probably going to tear up, pressure the Bengals. They're going to be very overconfident. But I do think the 49ers are going to win these three very early games in their season and jump out to a high start before maybe falling off a little bit later in the season. But we'll see. Look, you can't how the quarterback plays, in my opinion. I could definitely change my predictions like a week before the regular season if Brock Purdy continues to be an absolute beast. Maybe I'll give him 12, 13 wins. But we'll see when that happens. And you know who the final team is. Let's get to the chase. It's Seattle. Like, let's just be honest. Do you not believe in Geno Smith? Let's get to the overall. Wow, look at all that red. But we do have Bobby Wagner, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Overton, DJ Metcalf, Jamal Adams, who's honestly, I don't even know if he plays more than 2 games every season, Kenneth Walker, Condre Diggs, Tariq Woolen, Geno Smith, kicker Jason Myers, Jordan Brooks, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, along with the other rookie, Devin Witherspoon. Yeah, this team has some potential, most definitely. I just love that they got 2 of these players. Like, how you let a team get Jackson Smith and Jigba and Devin Witherspoon in the same draft? That is crazy. And just because I don't have the Seahawks going like 12 wins right now, which I don't, doesn't mean that in the next 3 years the Seahawks cannot be a top 10 team in the league. I think they have way higher potential than people are acknowledging. As long as I don't think it's going to be Geno at that point. I think eventually he's just going to wear out of his comeback player of the year stuff, and they're just going to have to grab a QB. But that should probably be better for them if they lost a lot this year, just so they could get a quarterback, or maybe trade for one like the Jets are trying to get that Super Bowl win. But let's get to the predictions. I got the Seahawks going 9-8, which is not bad at all. I can just search it up actually. Seahawks 2022. They're second in NFC West. And last year. They had the exact same record. I actually didn't know that. But yeah, I think they're going to be around the same. They just didn't change much. Did they have Bobby Wagner last year? I think they had him last year too. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. I don't think it will help that much. They don't have any amazing players besides really DK Metcalf on this team. And I don't think that's going to be enough for them to make a really big regular season. But I do think they will have a lot of positives heading into it. Speaking of positives, this will be their notable W's. Week 4 against the Giants. Yeah, I have them being the exact same record if you watched the last video. But, yeah, I think this will be a very close game. I think the Seahawks do come out on top. Giants do have some decent secondary help, but I do think DK is still going to just size difference them. And yeah, they're gonna win, in my opinion. It's probably like a 4-3 to 7 point game. I do have the Seahawks on top, and I do think they probably are the better team in a whole this season. But we'll see. But I do have the Seahawks winning this game. Week 9 against the Ravens. You saw Ravens prediction. You saw they only had 4 losses. Seahawks are one of them. I think Marlon Humphrey isn't really as good as he was in that one season where he completely broke out. He is definitely still good, though. I think DK is just... Like, it doesn't matter how skilled he is. He's very skilled. I'm not going to downplay that. As long as it doesn't matter how good a cornerback is, when DK is like 3 to 4 inches taller than you, maybe even taller. Depends on how small the cornerback is. But I think it just doesn't matter sometimes. And don't sleep on the Seahawks defense. Even though it doesn't have the highest star power, it's definitely got some playmakers. Wagner, Jamal Adams, if he gets back in with rhythm. Quandre Diggs, Tariq Williams, who's the most underrated man quarterback in the league. Jordan Brooks, Julian Love, Uchenna Nwosu. Just a lot of potential players. The Rams are probably going to be surprised at this potential 7-9 win team just pouring it on. I think this will be a good victory for the Seahawks. And their final win is Week 17 against the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's probably not going to be as good as Steelers fan on me. He definitely could, but I just don't really have that much high expectations. I think his 2 really good receivers, along with his great running back and great tight end, could definitely make him look really good. I guess ceiling's probably like Kirk Cousins, which, I mean, if he ends up being a Kirk Cousins and the Steelers keep all these pieces they have right now, they could win a Super Bowl ring with him most definitely. But he's not going to be Kirk Cousins this season. And I think the Seahawks are going to pull out this win, giving the Steelers like their 10th or 11th loss of the season. But what do you guys think about these records? I know they're completely right. I literally can see into the future. But if you guys can see into a different future, tell me what happens in that future. Comment down below. Let's see how long this video has been. Long. God dang it. Just get out of here.